Hello everybody, I'm Hayden Crawford from numerologist.com and I'm a wellness coach specialising in colour therapy. Today I'm going to be unwrapping your Anunnaki origins so that you can understand who you really are. Have you ever contemplated the truth about our origins here on planet Earth? Well, contrary to what we have been programmed to understand as the truth whilst we were at school, some of us believe that we're actually a hybrid extraterrestrial slave race that was created by the Anunnaki. Now, Anunnaki means those that came down from the heavens, or princely blood. So if you look back over many ancient texts, including the Bible, it clearly states that God created man in his image and in his likeness. But there are actually even older texts which date back to ancient Sumeria called the Enuma Elish. And here it says that there were multiple gods, or the Elohim. And in a place called Nineveh in Sumeria, there were over 20,000 clay tablets discovered, which reveal the secrets of the Anunnaki. So Anunnaki come from a planet called Nibiru, otherwise known as Planet X, which is 10 times larger than Earth. And they've been visiting us here for the past 450,000 years. Now, some believe that their origins date back to ancient Lyra. Now, Nibiru is on an orbit which is clockwise rather than counterclockwise. And some believe that Earth was created when there was a collision between Maldek and Nibiru. Now, the story goes that when they arrived here on planet Earth, they found prehistoric man. It's fascinating to observe how science and mythology are merging at this moment in our history. And so much that astronomers are discovering that Nibiru is within our solar system and it's located somewhere beyond Pluto, which, as you know, is a planetoid, which is the furthest away from Earth. So why did they visit in the beginning? Well, according to Zecharia Sitchin, author of books proposing human origins connected to ancient astronauts, their theory goes that they came here for gold. Now, gold was precious to them because it helped reflect infrared and absorb radiation, but it was also really good for their atmosphere on Nibiru. Now, when they got here, their intention was to mine the gold and then take it back to Nibiru. However, they soon realized that they needed the brawn of prehistoric man. The Anunnaki had to adapt their bodies because they weren't suited to Earth's atmosphere. So they started doing some genetic experiments with prehistoric man, combining all the DNA together to create the first Homo sapien. Now, Adamu in Sumerian text is the first man. So if there's any truth in this theory, then we were actually created by extraterrestrials. According to Sitchin, the Anunnaki created a slave species to help them harvest the gold. But you see, they couldn't remain here indefinitely, and the ones that did actually aged very quickly. So even to this day, this slave kind of mentality can be observed on the planet. As we go to work, we're caught in the rat race, and we're on that proverbial hamster's wheel, working all of the hours that God sends. However, think about it. This could actually be quite a disempowering archetype to indoctrinate into the collective subconscious because it's reinforcing victimhood. It's important to remember that during this time, the Anunnaki weren't the only ones conducting these genetic experiments. In actuality, the creation process was also assisted by beings from Sirius, the Pleiades, and even Andromeda, because they all wanted to play a part in this conscious evolution upon the planet. Therefore, it has to be recognised as far more complicated than the transcriptions by Sitchin. The mining of gold could be a representation of the inner work that needs to take place to reconnect to your divine I am presence, which is often depicted as a pale gold hue which surrounds the body in an aura in many teachings. So it seems that many of us have alien DNA due to the interbreeding with the Nibiru gods. They created the first Adamu and the first modern day human. Ancient Sumeria was responsible for creating the very first cities on the planet. And we have to observe how we seem to have a quantum leap in our evolution from being Homo erectus to quite advanced beings that were capable of extraordinary feats of engineering. Where did this technology even come from? Could it be that they gave us technology, language, and mathematics? The Anunnaki were the first beings that were mythologized as gods. Isis, Ra, Hermes, and Horus were all beings from Nibiru according to Sumerian texts. They were worshipped by humans as having superior powers, superior intelligence, memories, and strength. Now, when they had children, they were put into positions of power within the community and became the pharaohs and the governors of land, and ultimately became royalty, and they were the kings and queens. Now that's why today we're starting to wake up to the probability that the royal families of the world actually have extraterrestrial origins. It is said that the Anunnaki created the first calendars and the zodiac, and this was offered to man, which began the process of time. Now, before they arrived, there was no time. Everything was formless. There was no structure or time. So this actually put man into an artificial matrix, this illusion of man-made time, which really was quite destructive as it introduced a whole layer of control and mind control. The actual truth is that you have the power and you've had it all along. There's no need to worship any gurus. You have the ability to manifest. And once you fully and truly comprehend your I am presence, there's no need to fear anything or anyone external to you. They have no control over you. Now, it's also important to note that there are both good and bad Anunnaki, as there are in any race. There are some here to help us attain enlightenment, whilst others prefer to exist in a negative state because they don't want us to evolve at all. Now, this is clearly observed in the world around us, with all the land wars that are going on and within politics itself. Now, it's also important to note that many Anunnaki have incarnated into this human body computer to act as an antivirus to a virus that was placed upon us by the negative Anunnaki and the reptilians, because they wanted to get rid of us. They didn't want us to evolve to the next level. But remember, this is something that source consciousness has actually done to itself to help us evolve and attain a higher frequency. So it's all been kind of mapped out from a much higher level of awareness. Now, as Albert Einstein says, that you can't find a solution to a problem from the same consciousness that created it. We have to, as a collective, attain a new level of awareness so that we can continue to evolve into higher and higher vibrational frequencies. There is clearly much more information that's due to be channeled telepathically on this subject as our DNA continues to be upgraded like computer software. Let's hope that this fog of amnesia starts to dissipate so that we can clearly see the new golden age on the horizon. Why don't you leave a few comments below to let me know what you think, and if you can relate to these translations from the ancient clay tablets of Sumeria. If you don't, then what do you believe is the truth? I'd be really interested to find out. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.